How does my sound? Oh,
We're on the air. You sound great. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be, wherever you are in this bright, wonderful world we live in. It is the Aloha Hour. And once again, I don't know. It's been so long, Edwin.
reunited and it feels so good.
And it's understood. Everyone thought you broke up with me.
No, it's just been between your convention and then I had like night work and we've been in the process of moving. I've moved about like half my house.
Oof.
So I'm going to do the rest of it on Saturday.
Sounds like fun. Yeah, it's been just a crazy amount of time. Crazy week. Right?
Yeah. Are you caught up now from being in New York City?
Well, I'm done with penciling and inking Lone Star. And then I got to this place where I realized I need to figure out my next campaign. I need to figure out exactly what I want to do. And I thought I had the idea to just go ahead and launch the next one before this one was done, but I got a lot of kickback on that from various sources, some of whom chatted to me privately about it. So I don't know. And it's funny because this, Ethan just on his stream, I didn't know if he was being facetious or not, was talking about doing one of his characters and having me draw it. And he's like, but, I don't think Mike would be available. And I'm like, talk to me offline. Because if I can't get one going, I mean, I have bills to pay between now and whenever the next Indiegogo funds, right? So that's why I was like, if I can get one going now, then I can mitigate that gap.
All right, so let's get down to brass tacks. Let's get down to brass tacks. Mm-hmm. When are you going to be able to put Lone Star in people's hands, realistically?
Realistically, it depends on how long it takes the colorist and the letterer to finish the colorist is going to take the longest, right? The letterer's not going to take that long. I have to finish the script, get it to the letterer, and then I wait for the colorist, and then it's at the printer. I'm using a domestic printer, so it should be a 2-week turnaround. So that creative time plus 2 weeks, and then I'm shipping. And then however, some people will get it in a day, some people will get it in 4 days, maybe? Something like that.
Okay, so I think if you're going to launch another campaign, if everything is drawn, right? If everything is drawn, that's a good sign. If everything is in the colorist hand, that's good too. My opinion, and take it for what it's worth, if you're going to launch another campaign, you need to close out the Lone Star Heart of the Hero campaign.
Yeah, that would be absolute. Yeah.
And I think because of the lag, because it still needs to get printed and stuff, I think if you're immediately going to launch a new campaign, it needs to have a 2-month window. So just realistically, here's what's happening now. There are a lot of people that already have $1,000 or more out in books.
I know. I mean, I put the feelers out on this yesterday, and so I've gotten that kind of feedback already, and I don't turn a blind eye to it. I take everything into consideration, and I don't want to. Hey, Art.
Hey, guys.
Hey. Ladies and gentlemen, Art Bear.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Doing all right.
Don't let me interrupt, man.
But you're interrupting.
Welcome to the Boomer Star Hour.
Welcome to the party, pal. That's a Boomer reference.
That's the best Christmas movie ever.
Die Hard, look it up.
Weekend at Artie's.
So yeah,
I love that movie.
I've been paying attention.
I've lived that movie.
So here's the deal, though. I think if you time it, so if you launch with a 2-month campaign, like you plan a 2-month campaign, and people will receive their copy of Lone Star Heart of the Hero
during the campaign.
I think it'll be all right. And I think that the 2-month campaign gives you time to roll it out, gives us time to have fun with people, right? I think if you do that, it'll be okay. So people don't feel pressured to try and go ahead and get more money for you before they get their first. But I think that would be okay. And particularly if the first campaign gets closed out, I think that, in fact, I think that would be fine, because that would give people to what is this next campaign going to be? Have you decided?
It's going to be Lone Star Soul of the Soldier. Second one. It's going to be Nuclear Family. And it's going to be
Are you smoking marijuana? Are you smoking drugs on stream? What does that sound?
That's John Malin getting high.
Aloha.
Speaking of the devil.
Oh, did I come in at like the perfect time?
It sounded like something was being burned and inhaled.
Oh, that was me.
I know. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad, John Malin. Don't smoke drugs. Drink milk and stay in school.
Everything's fine in moderation.
Even drugs.
Yes.
Even cyanide.
You heard it here first. According to John Malin, black tar heroin is fine in moderation.
Hey man, don't knock it till you tried it, right?
That's right.
Only on the weekends.
It's medicinal crack. Medicinal crack. I have my medical crack card, and so it's perfectly legal. But yeah, if they're going to get their books and it's going to be a continuation of Lone Star, do it, man. Do it. I think people would support that, and particularly if they're going to get their first book before the campaign runs out. Yeah, it'd be great.
Over that time, yeah, that would be the case. But even if I do that, if I give it a 2-month window, then I'm still needing to get from here to there. So if Ethan's serious, he says he's serious about doing the comic, work for hire, however he wants to do it, then that could get me from here to there.
You need to have that conversation and find out if he's going to be ready to do stuff between here and there. Then,
and don't forget our cut.
Yeah, never forget that.
Otherwise, I think you're better served. You're better served by continuing to build on Lone Star, unless he's definitely serious and ready to jump out on stuff. Right? I just don't know the timing for him.
If I have to go look for work for hire, I'd rather it be within Comicsgate than outside of it.
Right, but is he? you got to have that conversation and find out if he's ready to move on it. Otherwise, you need to roll right in.
Nothing's ready. No, hold on a second. He just.
What project did he offer you?
Links.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I actually already have an idea. That's how my brain works.
Otherwise, my advice is to continue building Lone Star and keep progressing with the Blacklist universe. Right?
Yeah.
If he's not ready to go, then you need to get that running.
Well, I'm not going to stop. So, sorry.
Never stop.
Never stop. Art T-Bear.
Well, there is a possibility that it might raise your profile a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, Ethan does reach a really huge audience. I guess that would be a bonus of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Because I was thinking, well, how the hell did John Malin beat me? And I can only conclude it's because he was involved with Zach. So
Shit, I brought Zach to where he was.
Well, let me ask you a question. You've gotten some funds from Lone Star, right? You've gotten some funds. Have you already received the funds from the store mode, or have you already figured out?
I've gotten two payments from the store mode, but it's
because I really want to do. I really want to do one, since you've got like some more stuff to show. I want to do one more chance, and we should let people know. We should let people know that the campaign's getting ready to end, and this is going to be your last chance to get in, and want to do a fun dramatic reading again. I think would your daughter, would she read the parts? Would she read the parts of the girl? Because that would be super fun.
Eden, would you read the parts of the girl in the comic strip? The comic live reading? She says enthusiastically, yes.
Yeah, because we're
right now.
So not tonight, but maybe on a weekend, maybe this Friday or next Friday. Want to do like one last hard push to give everybody a chance to get exposed to Lone Star, right? Because it's coming to an end.
Well, when is the end, Mike? Do you have a date?
I don't have a solid date yet. That's what I've been trying to figure out with all this, going on. And I am currently drawing. Edwin and I have come up with a little plan for Friday's show. We are going to do a giveaway of this piece of art, which is Lone Star Wants You. So, gonna do that. It's gonna be a giveaway. Everyone come be here live Friday. It's gonna be a live giveaway. If you're not here, you don't win. So it'll be after the Night's Watch.
10 p.m. Friday. No, actually, you changed it, right?
I made the Night's Watch 5 p.m. my time. Probably 5 to 7.
8 p.m.
Yeah, maybe 8 p.m. Friday.
Eastern.
Do something a little earlier so more people can get in here. Although, I'm doing Night's Watch 5 to 7. Ethan's probably going to be doing 6 to 9 on Comicsgate, so sometime after 9.
No, that's fine, because if we start at 8 and then he starts at 9, there may be a little overlap, but essentially you'll be wrapping up.
Oh, that was another big question. I don't think we ever nailed down this week's drawn and quartered subject.
Oh, we did.
Freddie.
I talked to Critias, and we're going to be doing Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Krueger. Oh, that's awesome.
Step into your dreaming.
Okay, and then the other question I had with that, the winner of Drawn and Quartered Fan Edition wanted to know if there was room for a fan slot this week.
Thus far, I believe there is.
Okay, I'll coordinate for that then. That's kind of fun to have somebody come in, though. That was kind of funny that Pollard came in there and took it with the 1 week. That was
it was hilarious.
I was laughing.
It was absolutely hysterical.
Now I have a
30
question.
years and some punk comes in. What the heck?
I have a question. If we have one rotating spot for the fan edition, is the fan edition leaving one rotating spot to make sure fresh people are coming in there as well, so we're not dealing with the same?
Yeah.
Losers.
Yeah, they're having some.
Wait a minute, I'm talking smack already, and it's not even a show. Sorry.
Don't.
Cool your jets, T-Bear.
Okay.
Don't have premature emasculation there. You got to save something for tomorrow night.
That was gross.
That was.
That coming from the man who was discussing his bowel movements on the last show.
Well, Ethan's the one who brought up the whole Baby Ruth thing on the bottom of the pool. I was just yes-anding. That's an improv term.
Has the chat noticed that comic book artists are like overgrown children yet? Have y'all picked up on that yet?
Oh yeah, of course. Come on, guys.
No, wait.
Who would have thought that people who draw comic books, draw superheroes as adults into their 40s would not be mature, serious people?
What'd you say?
Are you in your 50s?
Me?
Art's old, dude.
Dude, yes, of course. I'm an old man. And I'm still a big kid. Go figure.
He was a man grown before. Oh,
how is Black and White doing, Art?
Black and White is doing amazing. Thank you for asking. We are at 25,345, and we have 479 backers and 6 days left. So we just met our 25K stretch goal, which was the mini print. And I'm really, really hoping that we can meet that 30K stretch goal by this Friday. If we can meet that stretch goal, I will give away the Grey Capullo original cover artwork absolutely free to some lucky Black and White fan. So there you go.
How does one enter that contest?
All they have to do is buy a book, and they will automatically be entered. The cool thing about Indiegogo is that everybody's assigned a number. I've done Kickstarters, and they're hard to find people and figure things out. And Indiegogo's got a pretty cool little way to keep track of things. And so with every order, they don't just say the tier number, but they say what it is, and then they assign a number to the name. So it really helps out. So we're just going to pull a bunch of numbers. Well, one number out of a bunch of numbers for the one lucky person. So that'll work out pretty well.
Yeah, we did that before.
Yeah, I just copied you, Mike, but I did it so much better. I'm the new and improved.
Just like Indiegogo. Gosh, you've got me saying Indiegogo now. Just like Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
Is the Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
It's not indigo. It's not
it's
purple
Indiegogo.
Go. Purple
it's
go. It's Indigo.
All right, Mom. Jeez.
Is the new and improved Kickstarter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The Indiegogo is, Mike.
E-R-A-N-D-O.
I just call it Go-Go.
Go.
Yeah, and I don't know if you heard me, John, on Ethan's thread. I congratulated you on 100K. That's nothing short of amazing.
Well, thanks, Art. I appreciate it.
Sort of a miracle.
Well, you put in the hours, you do the hard work, and it pays off. Right, Mike? Ooh, sorry, Mike.
Wow, this is Smack Talk already. We're getting ramped up for tomorrow.
Mike and I haven't stopped. Mike keeps digging it up on Twitter, so I just keep rolling with it.
We only take short breaks, to be real.
Yeah.
This epic battle has just begun.
That's right. John is my arch nemesis.
Mm-hmm. He said as much on Twitter.
That's right. And then someone else was like, I want a nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
They do know what nemesis means, right?
I don't think so.
It's not like best friend.
Yeah. Arch means best. Nemesis must mean buddy.
You're my best buddy.
People are making fun of my tears in the chat.
What tears? The tears in your eyes or the tears on your
I only have tears of joy. Thank you.
Indiegogo.
That's right. Is it that hard for you, Art?
No, I'm usually drunk, so I just slur everything.
Yeah.
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo.
All right. I titled this Pimpin Comics. So what I want to do is, Art, since you're here, we'll get into that other guy's comic at some point. But Art,
No, Pimp Lone Star in black and white. I'm cool with it.
Art, why don't you tell us? Don't give us the pitch.
Okay.
Tell us about who Black. Would
Wait,
you put your pitch away, didn't you?
No, you stopped. I didn't hear what you said.
I said like something got put away. Yeah. Let's keep it a PG-13 stream, please.
Wait a minute. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Tell us who the character of Black is as a person.
Okay. Black, Reed Blackett, a.k.a. Black, is an ex-spy, British Secret Service, MI10 agent. MI10 is a future division. It does exist, but we're saying this is kind of a future tense story that is a robotics division of the MI10. So he's a weapons robotic fighter expert. So he was in the MI10 for years and years. He comes from a spy family. His father was a spy. And he became very disillusioned with the whole thing. When he's a very altruistic guy. Just think about like if you had a personality like Captain America, like Steve Rogers, and he was to be doing nefarious things, killing without knowing why or who, just following orders as a good agent would. If you had a pretty intact soul and then maybe even question the authority that you're working for, you would become a little bit disgruntled. You might actually start not believing in what you're doing, or thinking that what you're doing is for God and country and for the betterment of mankind. So what he does is he leaves. He leaves the British Secret Service, and he tries to basically just become a normal guy. So he becomes an import-exporter since he's well-traveled and knows fine wines and foods and different things. And so he creates a import-export business. And so that's where he meets Whitney Sung. So that's kind of his thing. And then she gets into trouble. And so then he comes out of retirement, but not as a spy, but as a vigilante, and a vigilante that is basically altruistic. Like the tagline says, in a world where law and order is often blurred to gray, justice can only be black and white. So that's his mantra. That's like his thing, that he will not go down that path again to kill, without knowing why, to do all those things that he questioned when he was a spy. And let's face it, I think spies are probably asked to do a lot of dirty work. I don't think, it's always above board. And so that's basically the character. So then he still wants to do the right thing, but he does the right thing on his terms.
It's an interesting origin. I don't think I've heard of people being in spy families other than like Spy Kids.
Spy Kids. Well, it's a comic book. It's all made up, so it's a fantasy.
Wait, it's all made up.
What's that?
Is it your autobiography, Art?
Yes, I am undercover right now.
Speaking of dirty, speaking of dirty work, Art, who is your most recent backer?
Oh, let me go and check. Oh, did you just back me, Eve? Oh my God, Edwin, thank you so much, man. You are awesome. Edwin is 538, and that's the exact number that I will be pulling this Friday for the winner of the Great Capullo cover. Thanks, man. That's awesome.
Right on.
Yeah. You just warmed the cockles of my black and spy heart.
Yeah, no, I say that because I think of like the different kind of spy, you know, James Bond and Red Sparrow and all these kind of spy, and they're always talking about like, you know, like drafting orphans into this war so they can shape their personalities and take away their ability to empathize with their their targets, however you want to put it, and stuff like that.
Kill without conscience. Yeah.
Yeah, kill without conscience, and the whole that's a unique angle I don't think I've ever seen before.
Oh, thank you. I can be clever from time to time.
So we have a $2 super chat from Antonio Malpica. He says, Critias.
I know.
Says, it's a conspiracy. Kick Edwin and Art. Yes, it is a conspiracy.
But why Edwin? I can see why they'd kick me.
Because Edwin's been pushed aside by the Malin militia, and Aloha is now the Mike and John show.
Okay.
Hey, that's got a good ring to it, Mike.
Mike and John.
Mike and John in the morning.
Show.
I want to do drive-by. I want to do traffic in the morning.
Okay.
On the 91, we have a bumper-to-bumper situation.
All right, you got to do it like Les Nessman.
And it's starting to rain. Oh, I couldn't do that.
You got to be in the chopper, man. You got to be in the
chopper.
No, it's Mike and John on WBLZ. We're balls in the morning.
Oh man, we need a bell or something to ring. Ding, ding, ding.
No, we want Art to give traffic report while he's in that traffic.
You got to give it. You got to give it in the chopper. You got to give it in the chopper, Art.
Art, do the chopper. Do the chopper, Art.
We're on the 91 right now, looking down at a crazy bad situation. There's a jackknife semi going onto the 605 on-ramp.
Welcome to Boomer Town.
Boomer Town.
All these kids under 30 in the audience are like, what the hell are they talking about?
What is WKRP? I don't know what the hell
Yes,
that is.
yeah, Coro Poker with the WKRP in Cincinnati.
It's a good show.
Yep. Yeah, hey, I just saw Lonnie Anderson last year at a Wizard World show. Man, she still looks great.
Does she still have the plastic hair, the big hair?
She has the big hair. She's got the, tight little... she's like old, but she's like still... I'm like, wow, you look pretty great.
I'm just looking at your kids behind you right now.
She's still a crazy flirt, too. So I'm like, this is a chick.
I don't know. Miller might be able to pull off a Herb Tarlick. We just got to get him a corduroy sports jacket with elbow patches.
Yeah, really cheesy jacket.
Can you
Why?
see it? Yeah.
Why would you do that to me? I can see it.
That's what? Art? No.
I'm going with Art.
No. I'm Venus Flytrap or whatever that guy's name
I'm
was.
Johnny, man.
Johnny Fever.
Yeah, but I'm cooler, man. I'm that, what is his name? Venus Flytrap. What was his first name? It
Venus.
wasn't Venus.
Venus.
Was it Venus? Okay.
Flytrap, yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah, Carl Hungus says Mike is Herb. No doubt.
There you go. The chat has spoken.
No. No.
Lone Star's been making a little bit of traction over the last hour. 1 hour ago, Saul Good, David Bowser, and 4 minutes ago, George Ray.
Thank you. Thank you.
$96,497.
Woohoo. Let's get up to 97,000. No, whatever. That'd be great, but it's actually done pretty good this last 24 hours. Pretty well. I was on, I don't know if any of you guys saw it, but I was on the Order of the Green Hand today, which is that another Game of Thrones channel. And man, my sub count went up. I don't know, where's it at now? Anybody see my sub count? I was at like
3.2 thousand.
No, I mean I need an actual number.
Oh, sorry.
Jeez.
Well, you know, I didn't go up 1,000. I went up like last I checked, I think I was up like 35 or something just from that one show. So 32.
Yeah, they were interesting.
Yeah,
I don't know if they knew what to do with the Lone Star fans.
Were you? Yeah, I wasn't watching the chat. Edwin, what was going on in there? Were you mixing it up with some Game of Thrones heads?
Yeah, I gave your host a couple of super chats. One was how does Captain Geach get back over the wall, and the other was
were you there for the answer?
Yeah, the trebuchet.
That is correct.
Let's see. We have a $4.99 super chat from Ian Howe. He says, Edwin, apropos of nothing, do you use product in your hair or does it naturally fall perfectly? If so, what brand? In the morning when I wake up, I will slap some pomade through it. If you've ever watched Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I am I'm a Dapper Dan man. I don't.
He doesn't use that fop.
No, I don't want fop.
Yeah.
My hair.
Critias is saying, John, tell Mike if he seriously considers drawing links, arrow, to please choose me as his writer. Well, that maybe a little bit more Ethan department. I don't know. But there you go, Mike.
Now, what is Links about? What is the pitch for Links?
Links was Ethan's original pitch for X-23.
Oh, cool.
So he basically just said a young feral girl. That's the pitch. So I'm like, I was already thinking about ideas. So I'll talk to him about it tomorrow.
Interesting. Well, what happened to Rainbow Brute? I thought Rainbow Brute was
no. Ethan's just always thinking up stuff, and we were on the other stream, and he was. I don't even know if he was being serious, but after the fact, he said he was. So he was like, you know, I'd like to have Mike S. Miller draw it, and I'm like, talk to me after. So, what is in your mouth?
How's your father? Says a young furry girl? No, a young feral. Feral.
Yes.
Girl.
So, Malin, how are you doing? What have you got left to do before you can go to print?
We just finished the lettering this weekend, and so I think we're looking to send that off. Well, hopefully this week, I guess. So
wow, that's cool.
We're just kind of looking at last little details. But I think we're going to go Print Ninja, and I think you can expedite at least the estimate. It looked reasonable. I'm sure the taxes and whatever can probably make it a little bit higher. But if I expedite it, I can get that back. And I think they said like 14 days or something.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so it's like $2,000 more, but I'm just like, well, if I can just beat everything, then I mean that'd be really good for the backers. But I have to talk it over with Mark. So I tried getting a hold of him a couple times today, and whatever. He's got more important things to do apparently than to answer his partner's calls.
Well, and if you do that, will you be able to get that out before Christmas?
Well, that's my goal, is to have it fulfilled by Christmas. But I'm also going to be looking into a fulfillment center too. So I got to hunt around for that, because I don't want to send everything off to China, have it come back, like shipped to my house, and then me have it to send it again halfway around the world somewhere, you know? So,
Wait, Print Ninja is in China?
Yeah, Print Ninja. Or Korea. I think it's China, though.
Print Ninja was domestic and digital.
Oh. Their site shows a airplane or a boat leaving from China and going to the United States.
Maybe they're a broker service.
Oh, yeah, maybe, huh?
Because I think when Taylor, my writing partner, looked into it, I thought she said that Print Ninja was domestic as well, but maybe it is like a middleman. Maybe they take orders and stuff, and then they deal with different printers in these different countries to get the best price for whoever.
Right. Hold on a second. Hold on. Roland Mann's watching. He wants to come in. Roland, can you send me your Gmail address to Facebook? You know Roland, right, Art?
I'm not sure.
Keep rolling.
Roland.
What's his last name? Does he have a last name?
Man. Roland Man.
I know Clayman or Claymon.
All right, let me see.
Hey, Miller, I am going to have to go in about 15 minutes. You know what we haven't done in a while?
Yes, we do.
We haven't done the call of the Lone Star Squadron.
Oh, I thought you guys were talking pants off, dance off.
The other thing we haven't done in a while.
Oh, God.
Correct. That is incorrect.
You ready for it? You ready to get it in?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to give you a 5-second warning here. You need to take your headphones off. You need to turn your volume all the way down. I am not kidding. I'm getting ready to do the call of the Lone Star Squadron. If your headphones are still in and your volume is still up, it will melt your eardrums. I'll give you a 5-second warning. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lone Star Squadron! Ho!
Praise the sun.
Hey.
It's been a while, man.
Cool.
Been a while.
My ears are bleeding.
All right, everyone. Thanks for gracing us with your presence. Let me know when your schedule lightens back up to normal.
Tomorrow, when are we going to start drawn and quartered?
Same time. Well, maybe we should start it a little bit early, like 6:45. Let people. Then by 7 o'clock, whoever's not here, we know we can send out other invitations.
Okay, I'm going to get the fan in. And then, so for everybody who's watching, though, or Friday, are we still planning on doing a big push on Lone Star? Maybe doing some dramatic reading, getting Eden to help with that, and then we do the giveaway, right?
Yep. Friday night. It's Lone Star giveaway night on Friday.
Yeah, and thanks a lot, Edwin, for showing up on the Mike and John show. We're happy to have you as welcome back anytime.
Always good to come by. Everybody, have a fantastic evening. Fantastic to see everybody.
Aloha.
Thanks.
Aloha.
All right, I got a super chat from Mark C for $5. Was the editor that fired Chuck Wendig the one-time artist that drew Dooms 4? I haven't got the faintest idea. Was that?
That was Mark Pasella. I don't think it's the same. Is it like Mark Pensica or something? The Marvel guy?
I have no idea.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's the same person.
Dooms 4. That's old Extreme, right?
Yeah, it was Rob's Fantastic Four.
That was supposed to be in some kind of Spielberg deal or something like that. I think earlier.
Yeah, I think he sold the rights or they optioned the rights for the movie. Yeah.
No kidding.
Come on, Mike. You lived back then.
That ain't half bad. I know, but I was in my own little world. I lived back then.
Yeah.
Rob's the mover and shaker, man.
Yeah. You got to get him in, man. You got to get him in on John and Quartered. You have his number.
He said he would do an alternate black and white cover, but I had to go with Grey Capullo instead.
Mm.
Oh darn.
Yeah.
Would have been nice.
Would have been better.
Some would say.
Oh,
Greg's pretty good now. Back then, I mean, yeah, I would have went with Rob.
Ouch.
Yeah, Greg taking over Spawn pretty much got me out of Spawn. Hey, snap.
But
I would love to have a Rob Liefeld alternate cover for Lone Star, and I'd want to
talk to him.
I want to ink it.
You should talk to him.
Oh, I doubt Rob would touch Comic Skate with a 1,000-foot pole.
Yeah, there's no reason.
He's making his empire right now, so
Yeah.
he wouldn't want to court controversy like that.
Yeah. What controversy? I don't know what you're talking about. What clean is a driven snow?
Don't you know?
Don't you know? I guess Roland can't quite figure out the internet.
It is tough.
So who's Roland?
Roland was my editor back at Malibu. You know, when I first started in comics, Roland Mann and Hank Canals were my editors at Malibu. So he's a good guy. And
so for all the young people that never heard of Malibu, Malibu was the company that actually helped, I believe, Image get started, right? Wasn't Image somewhat of an imprint when they first started with Malibu?
Yep. Yeah. They asked Chris Ulm, I think it was, you know, if he'd like to publish, because they were all the big stars at Marvel at the time. So they asked Chris, I think they were at dinner or something, and Rob just kind of goes, "Hey Chris, would you like to publish a book if I did one?" And he's like, "Sure." And then he's like, "How about like Mark Silvestri? Would you want to do a Mark Silvestri?" He's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "How about Jim Lee? Would you like?" So and he was being totally serious. Chris thought he was just like yanking his chain, I guess. And then there you go.
Oh, yeah, how big was Malibu back then?
Let's get Roland on here. Roland, go to your Gmail. Open your Gmail account. And in the lower left-hand corner, there should be a little chat box area, and it'll say you have a call request. Just click on that. Gurney Halleck, with a $100 super chat, says, "Here's the refund I got from Malin, since I won't be able to buy any more of your books. As long as EVS supports the D-bag campaigns, dishonest witch hunts, I won't be spending 1 penny on anything he promotes on his channel. Sorry again, John. Thanks for being stand-up, Mike." I feel like there's a story here.
I don't know what he's talking about. The refund I got from Malin, since I won't be able to buy any more of your books as long as EVS supports the D-bag campaign, dishonest witch hunts, I won't be spending 1 penny on anything he promotes on his channel. Sorry, John. So why are you giving Mike money? Mike gets promoted on EVS's channel. The crap.
What is the witch hunt? I haven't been on Ethan's show in a while. Hey, got me $100. But no, what is
today was my first day back on there. What the crap are you talking about, Gurney?
Gurney, you don't have to super chat the answer, but what the heck are you talking about, man?
Super chat the answer for $100, Gurney. Dare you?
I don't want to dissuade you from super chatting, but it's not necessary.
Now I gotta know.
I know. I'm like, I really want to know. No one seems to know what he's talking about. Gurney Halleck, and I am sick of them. But that's the first thing he said. Gurney Halleck, Gurney Halleck. Let me scroll up and see. Is there anything else? I don't know. He just says, I am sick of them. Trying to drive a wedge between Mike, EVS, and Malin. Forget him. Oh, that was on a Rakita stream, so you probably did see it? Did or didn't? I don't know if he means did or didn't. Is there someone in particular you might be talking about with the... I don't want to sow Discord, but I really am curious what the heck he's talking about.
Yeah, you have our interest at $100.
Yeah.
What's going
My
on?
interest is peaked. Peaked and paid for.
Mike will reimburse you the $100 if you
Shut up,
want.
Oh,
Hey.
I'm
Kick
just
Art.
kidding. Yeah, I'm just kidding. Jeez.
Kick Art.
I don't have that kind of power anyway.
Or did not. Yeah.
Gosh, you guys.
You
Man.
all want.
Something about the Rakita Law stream?
Yeah.
Nobody watches that. Okay, no.
The only one I saw was when what's his face? That little weaselly douchebag was on. That guy's name? Young Bluth, yeah.
Don Bluth?
Not Don Bluth. Come on now. And I know EVS supports them. I still don't know who you're talking about, man.
It's very cryptic.
I know. So cryptic. So much cryptic. But, and we can't seem to get Roland on either. This show
Maybe
is...
Roland knows.
Roland. Roland has the answers.
He's got the answers to everything.
Roland, isn't there someone under the age of 30 in your house that can help you figure out the internet?
First, I push the button. Then
See, Art figured it out.
Somehow.
So, row, gat, etc. Row. Oh, is this Centurion a-holes, he says. Okay. Well, it seems very cryptic. If you can give me a clear, direct answer, that'd be great. Otherwise, I'm going to let this topic pass. For $100, you don't need to know what he's talking about, the metal says.
Somebody just gave you another $100?
No. He was just saying, take the money and run, basically. Take the money and run. So, John, while we await... oh, crap. What is that? Why's my hand wet?
Uh-oh. I hate when that happens.
What the heck? Right on his face. Oh, good thing I'm giving this piece away.
Oh, whoops. The thing you never want to hear from an inker's mouth. Oops.
Gurney says, I don't like repeating the same crap and spamming everything with inane lies over and over. I can appreciate that.
Guys, if you want to replace that $100 that Gurney put in there, you can back Graveyard Shift Indiegogo at any time. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
You just go straight to LoneStarComic.com.
Well, sorry, Gurney, that you're having issues with somebody. I don't know how that really affects me, but if you want to punish me for that, then cool beans, I guess. Thank you for at one time supporting Graveyard Shift.
Taking the high road. Always, John.
Always. John is a class act.
Yep.
Oh, are you saying that, Mike, or are you reading that?
Wait, Mike.
No, I said it.
Oh, okay. Mike?
I know it's confusing.
I know, like, that doesn't sound like Mike.
Black and white just went up by $100. What?
Nice.
Everyone's getting my $100. What the crap?
I was just kidding. I just wanted to hear John say, "What the crap?" It worked. Yeah,
everyone's getting the same $100.
It's just passing around.
So, John, what do you think about my movie review today?
Oh, brother, I caught the tail end of both of them. I replied pretty much the same thing, that if it's not The Notebook, you're not going to like it.
I have never even seen The Notebook.
Oh, okay, because that seems like a movie you'd be a sucker for.
So you've seen it?
Yeah, sadly.
Sucker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Terry Bogard wants advice for a writer. Simple advice is learn story structure, learn how to give your characters unique voices, and come up with something interesting. Don't just throw freaking mud at the wall. As far as story structure goes, there's 2 books I would get. I would start with one called Save the Cat by Blake Snyder. It's sort of a junior college level explanation of how to create a solid story structure, the bits and pieces you need to make a story follow a good beat, right? It's called, there's a thing called the Blake Snyder beat sheet, but if you just go download that, then you won't understand what all the things are. There's another book that's more of a PhD in screenwriting. It's called Story by Robert McGee. That one is, it's like this thick. It's a heavy read, but totally worth the time. And again, characters should have their own unique voices. It's nothing irritates me more when I'm reading a script and all of the characters sound like they're the exact same person. So I do that by mentally associating given characters with either people I know intimately or like characters I know from characters or actors who have particular mannerisms that I can steal from, because you can take mannerisms from a person and you'll remember their like speech patterns and how they would say certain things, and it doesn't necessarily like when you write it down, it's not like you know, you write something in, I'll pull it out of the air because I'm not using this person, John Wayne, right? You're writing a character in John Wayne's voice in your head. It doesn't mean someone's going to read it with John Wayne's voice in their head, right? But it does give them a unique voice on the page. So try to keep that in mind when writing. So, Art, do you have any suggestions?
I think that's good advice. Yeah, if you have, and also situations too. So the way you can bring reality to your stories is if you can somehow pull from your life or friends' stories or something firsthand that you know. Write about things that are real to you, and then they'll always translate in a more authentic way than if you're just kind of just making stuff up or regurgitating a story beat from a movie or a book that you read.
Right. Try to avoid cliches, please.
But sometimes you can put a spin on it too, so you can set it up in a cliche way, but then you can pay it off in a non-cliche way, which is the way a lot of film and movies and stuff are structured these days.
Yeah, there's tropes and there's cliches. There's a fine line between them.
Okay, then what's the difference between a trope and a cliche then?
Well, a trope is you know what? No, it's like it's a comfortable story that people are familiar with, or not necessarily a story, a comfortable scene or a comfortable action that people are familiar with. Cliches is just like overwrought, overdone phrases or actions or things that you just expect in every.
Cliche would be a trope that wore out its welcome.
There you go. That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
John, do you ever write or do you just draw?
I write in my head a lot.
Right, and yeah, that's called thinking, John.
Oh, okay. Yeah, guys. You know, check out movies by Michael Bay. Yeah.
That's my advice.
Mike thinks the extent of my film taste is big explosions, and I forgot what the other thing was. I don't know, bad writing, I guess.
People stabbing things. You like horror, right?
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Yeah. I know. I love them.
Yeah.
John, you're so much fun. You've added so much to my life. You know that?
Thanks.
You light up his life.
You light up my life. Giant gorillas in diapers. None of your business says.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you're never gonna get over that.
Hey.
That's gonna be on your tombstone.
We live to fight another day.
All right, so John, why don't you? Okay, I need a link. They say, Roland, I sent you a direct invitation, buddy.
This is an ongoing epic.
I know. We're trying to get Roland.
Does he have Chrome?
Does he have Chrome?
Do you have? Yeah. Oh yeah, are you doing this in Chrome, Roland? You have to do this in Google Chrome.
Yeah. Also, you have to clear that menu first before you paste up the new link. I learned that the hard way.
Is it D1 or D-Roll? Gotta check this again.
So Roland was there at Malibu during the Image years when they first started publishing there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very cool. This should be fun.
Yep.
Does he know Scott? Scott Rosenberg?
Yep. Yes, he does.
Does he know, what was it, Nightman? What was the one that got hit in the head with a rock or something, and then he had night vision? Was it Nightman? Was that the character?
Nightman.
He had his own TV series?
Oh, yeah, yeah. There was like a really crappy TV show called Nightman, right?
Yeah, he had one like eye that was permanently dilated or something, and he could see at night.
Roland said, I edited Nightman.
There you go. A beautiful book. I did a bunch of pinups and covers when they did the Marvel Malibu crossovers. So I think I did Cable and Nightman or something, or Spider-Man and Nightman or something like that. Ooh, it was Cable and Electrocute. Ask Roland if he remembers Electrocute.
He can hear you.
Well, okay. Then could you answer the question, please, Roland? I think her name was Electrocute, and she was a cutie.
Was she electric too?
She was.
That would be very apropos.
She would shock you with her cuteness. I can hear you.
Roland, man.
Dead
invite.
Air.
Sent you another invite, Roland. We'll get it someday, brother.
Ooh.
Roland was one of the few people who... Roland!
Hey!
Yes. Lives. Roland, this is Artsy Bear and John Malin. Boys.
Hi, John.
Roland.
Hey, Art.
Welcome.
I didn't realize.
Welcome to the Mike and John show.
Well, now this is the Art and Roland show, so let's
Hey,
now.
Hey.
Let's arm wrestle.
I know Art. I never met you, John. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
No,
all right, Roland, roll out your bio for the audience here.
Yeah, okay. I started as an independent comic writer and packager back in the late 80s during the black and white boom of indie comics. And a lot of that work was for Malibu. This was pre-Ultraverse, pre-Image days. So a lot of that stuff was for Malibu. And as they began to expand, Chris Ulm came to me and said, "Hey, do you want to be an editor?" And I said, "Can I edit from here?" And he said, "No, you got to move from California." I said, "Well, I don't really want to live in California. I'm a Mississippi boy." Although you can probably see I have my Arkansas shirt on. Long story short, he made me a deal I couldn't refuse, and I moved to California and became an editor, where I worked on the Protectors stuff, which is where I met you, Mike.
Yeah.
The Protectors and that line of stuff, Dinosaurs for Hire, X-Mutants, Ferret, blah, 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 blah. And then that was, of course, the Image stuff happened then. And it wasn't Chris that got that set up. That was Dave. Mike,
was it? Over?
Yeah, Dave and Rob had a working relationship. And so, when they caught wind of everything that was going to happen, Dave picked the phone and said, "Hey, if you guys need any help, consider us." And so, they jumped ship, and then and they used Malibu for about 10 months. I think the official, I think the legal term, and don't quote me on this exact term, but I think the legal term was something like publisher of record. And then all the stuff was kind of trafficked through Malibu until Image guys could hire a staff. And then once they did that, then they went on their own. And of course, then Malibu went on to create the Ultraverse, which is what I think probably most of the folks here remember more than the Malibu stuff. And then a couple years after that, the company was purchased by Marvel. And then a couple of years after that, Marvel fired everybody and sent everybody home. I then went to doing some small press stuff in the late 90s, but I think it was a little too late. lost a bunch of money and decided to go for another career. And so I went back to school, started teaching at the university. And then about 2010, started doing comics in my spare time. And that's kind of how I started reconnecting, with folks like yourself. And, you and I reconnected, I guess, probably, well, we were never totally out of contact just because of the circles that we were in.
Yeah.
But I guess probably 6 or 7 years ago, we kind of made that reconnection. So that's kind of what I do now. I teach teach at day and make comics at night.
What in the heck do you have behind you? Why do you have so many comic books?
Oh, I'm at this is my home office. And so my home office, I don't have a storage room or anything. So yeah, all of my comic book boxes are here. My wife won't let me put these in the living room.
Yeah.
Just throw a little blanket over them, throw some throw pillows on and make a couch out of it.
Yeah.
Did you guys notice my Lone Star banner so I could cover up half of the mess in my closet?
It's a beautiful banner.
Thank you. Lone Star.
That's right.
So cool.
So Marvel owns all those Malibu characters.
Yeah.
So not all the Malibu characters. They own all the Ultraverse characters. Some of the Malibu stuff was creator owned, like the stuff that I did with them. It was creator owned. So you have to be.
What did you create?
I created Cat and Mouse for them, which is actually I created that with Bitch Bird. And so that's kind of what I'm doing again. What else did I do for them? I did creator owned. I did a book called Demon's Tales, which is about a very beast-like character. And when I say beast, I mean Englehart Perez era beast, not the stuff they do now. Can't remember. I have to look through. I did a lot of stuff for Malibu. A lot of it was they owned. I did a game adaptation, which was a lot of fun. Oh, I did a Miss Fury miniseries before she was public domain. Of course, now she is in public domain, but we had the rights to do a Miss Fury miniseries.
How funny! How did it go into public domain if you guys were still current on it?
Well, you got to remember this would have been. Oh no! So we actually just licensed the rights from Tarp Mills, at least to my knowledge. I was just the writer, so I wasn't involved in anything. But it was my impression that we licensed them from Tarp Mills, and now everything, that now the Miss Fury stuff is public domain. So, but it wasn't in 91 or 2 whenever we did that.
Interesting.
So let's see. I'm just looking at the Wikipedia right here. So couple ones that I remember. I was a kid back then. X Mutants is that Marvel or is that creator owned? X Mutants.
X Mutants would be a Marvel thing now.
Okay. Ferret.
Okay, so Ferret is a weird thing. So Ferret is one of the Protectors family was all based on the public domain characters. The I can't remember who they are now. Anyway, that whole family was not Gold Key. Anyway, so they were all public domain, and R.A. Jones, who was the writer, took all that stuff, put a little bit of spin on it, and did it for Malibu. So that particular version of the Protectors is now owned by Marvel, except that those characters are public domain. So so you could go grab the Ferret and do a version of the Ferret. It's like any public domain thing. You just have to be careful not to do what R.A. did in the 90s with his comic.
Nice.
So I could take Captain Marvel and Steamboat and do my new Shazam adventures.
So I mean, the thing about the public domain characters, as long as what you've done, as long as everything you do is based off of the public domain, and you don't base your content off of anything new, you should be okay.
Because legitimately, Captain Marvel, all those old comics are public domain.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's Shazam, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel himself is public domain. Or is that just something nobody's going to mess with WB?
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if I don't know, because corporations and individuals don't always have the same rights. I know that the folks who owned like the protectors and that stuff like that, they just let the copyrights lapse.
Right.
So
yeah, it's an interesting, weird gray area that all those books are public domain. I could, you know, you can go download PDFs. You could probably, if you were willing to take the fight to court, you could probably publish them.
right.
But then you're going up against WB.
Yes, you're going up against some really deep pockets.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's probably why people stay away from some of those, like Captain Marvel, because it's just like, it's not worth the fight.
Yeah. It's crazy. Did you guys know that?
I knew about that Shazam was public, or Captain Marvel was public domain. Yeah. I think that's why Marvel has the Captain Marvel name.
Yeah.
And DC got left with Shazam.
Well, they chose to do that. They just gave up that fight. Which
they chose to, but I mean, they had it at one point. They did call him Captain Marvel.
Yeah, they did. They had it for ever.
So you could launch a Captain Marvel book by calling it Captain Marvel, and it would be the Shazam character, essentially, and that would all be legal.
That's
in your opinion.
That's the weird gray area.
Yeah, because I think some of it depends on what DC has done with it since then, and I don't know the answer to that.
Right. I know so little about the actual Captain Marvel. Anything I do would be original.
Yeah.
I think as long as it was based on anything that predated DC's version of it. So you couldn't base anything on the DC mythology of Captain Marvel. But I believe that if you predate that and base it on like the original Captain Marvel, I mean, like you guys said, it would probably be a major legal battle. But I think you could do that. But if you were basing your new Captain Marvel off of the Marvel or the DC version, then I think you'd really get into trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I think you probably have legal legs to stand on, but again, you'd have to have deep pockets because they would fight you just to keep you in court to keep you from publishing it.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's it would
never happen. Yeah.
It's a very similar issue with Zorro, because the Curse of the Capistrano, the book or the serialized Zorro story, came out prior to the copyright date, right? But then when they published they compiled it together as as the Mark of Zorro, or the Mask of Zorro? The Mark of Zorro. I think the Mask of Zorro.
Mask.
Yeah, they compiled that, and that was published post the copyright date. So Zorro as a character is technically public domain, but Zorro as a brand is not.
Yeah.
So it's like this weird gray area. You could probably get away with doing a comic book where you had Zorro and Captain Marvel in it and call it Atlas something, whatever. Call it
Protectors.
something else.
Protectors.
Call it Protectors, right?
Yeah.
But then you still need deep pockets because both of them would sue you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, it's like Daredevil, right? So the original Daredevil is in public domain.
Yeah.
Now, if you were to go to a Daredevil comic, I guarantee you Marvel would come after you. So
Right.
you would have to kind of disguise it. You would have to say, Mike Miller's Astounding, and in tiny little words, Daredevil. So that it's all the title is all Mike Miller's Astounding, whatever.
The Devil Who Dares.
That's right. Featuring Daredevil, right? Yeah.
So you can use Daredevil. You can use Daredevil and the Daredevil character.
Well, the Daredevil.
It's not the Marvel character.
Yeah, he's like this half black, half red character. That
black and yellow one, right?
I think it's blue and red.
No, he's black and red, or blue and red.
I think he's blue and red. I don't hold me to that. I think.
And he throws boomerangs, I think. Anyways, there's a bunch of great public domain characters that skirt this weird line.
But Dynamite's doing that character.
Okay, so he's
but
comic book blue. He's comic book black, right?
Yeah.
So he's blue.
So I think what you see is when you see people doing public domain characters, I think you see them going for the characters that were published, in the 40s and then just dropped. No one, no one touched them again because no one's going to go to fight for them. No one's going to go to battle with them.
Right.
The characters that Marvel picked up or DC picked up, I think people are like, yeah, that's not worth the fight.
Yeah. It seems like at some point that's where Captain Marvel was, because Captain Marvel was huge before Superman came first, but then Captain Marvel came out and was bigger than Superman.
Yes.
Then it kind of like petered out, and I think that's when they just stopped caring for a minute.
I think the publishing company had money problems. I think they were still going to publish it. Oh, excuse me, but they had money problems, but it had nothing to do with the success of Captain Marvel, because I think it was still doing strong when the publishing company went out of business. But you're right, Mike. They Captain Marvel was cleaning Superman's clock.
Yeah.
So could I do a Daredevil book and just make it a completely different character? I mean, I understand there would still be like a legal question there, but it wouldn't have to be the black and the blue or whatever that is, right? Or the blue and the red.
No, I think for your safety, you would need to do the original character, because anything else, that's when Marvel's going to come at you.
Okay.
Dynamite doing the Daredevil book, they changed the name of the character itself, didn't they?
Yeah.
Something reminiscent of. Yeah, but they did that. Nick did that out of deference to Marvel because he didn't want the trouble, whether or not he had the right,
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to fight them either. I will say it's an interesting experience. This is the whole experience from this side is very new, because I get to sit and I see the everybody but you, Mike, has logos there, and so
right.
whenever someone talks, the little green thing comes on and their logo is replaced just with their name.
Right.
Okay. The name it's the Death-Defying Devil. So I think they just call him. It's like DD. They can still call him DD, but I think it's just the Death-Defying Devil. Double D. The devil. Yeah.
The Death-Defying Devil. Yeah. No, but I always thought like the Black Terror had like the coolest costume. That would be a cool one to do.
There's a lot of really cool characters from the 40s that you could pick up and do something with.
Bullet Man.
There's a lot of really goofy ones too, but
wasn't it like the Human Bullet, right? And he had like a bullet-shaped head, like a helmet or something.
Was it the Human Bullet? I thought it was just Bullet Man.
I think it was the Human Bullet. That's a DC character, right? Is that the one you're thinking?
No, I'm talking about the old one. Yeah, but yeah, he had a bullet, and he had
a bullet lass or a bullet
lass. Yeah, bullet lass. He was much more aerodynamic.
Fire him out of a cannon.
At Hitler.
Hitler's army.
But yeah. So Roland, how much in ballpark figures? Well, no, don't give me a figure. Do you know what the percentage was? Was it a standard publishing deal with Image, or did they massage a sweeter deal because you guys?
You mean with Malibu?
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know that for sure. I have guesses, but I don't know because that was the levels above me.
Scott and Dave owned it, right?
Well, Scott. So there were four of them, right? So Scott was the president. Dave Ulbrich was the publisher. Tom Mason was the art director, and then Chris Ulm was the editor-in-chief. Those were the four partners. So that when everything happened or any major decisions, those were the four guys. They each had their respective roles. From my understanding, Scott's kind of the one that made off pretty well after the purchase.
That was my understanding too.
Yeah.
The Men in Black.
Yeah. Dave, if I'm not mistaken, Dave was, if I remember this correctly, Dave was actually let go as one of the 4 partners before it all fell apart. Chris and Tom then voluntarily left. They just said, "Hey, we've had enough. We're out of here." And so when the Malibu ship sank, then Scott was the one that was kind of still in charge. And it was odd because I went from answering to Chris Ullman, who was the editor in chief, to answering directly to Scott, who was the publisher. It was just kind of a weird. It was kind of a weird transition. And it's funny, with all the Chuck Wendig stuff going on now. The editor in charge. I saw someone trying to, or maybe I heard you guys as I was farting around trying to figure this stuff out. Is Mark Panicia, and Mark was one of the Malibu editors at the time as well.
Okay, that's it. Panicia. Yeah,
Panicia.
Not Mark Pasella.
Correct. Yeah.
Dooms 4. Yeah, somebody was saying Pasella.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's Panicia.
They also call him Panic.
Yeah, Panic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because no one can say his name.
Disco.
No one can say his name.
Yeah.
I think John's probably the one that came up with the nickname.
No. No, Mark was my editor for Cable, though.
Was he really?
Oh,
My original editor, yeah.
Kidding.
I like him.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I used to do a decent little, imitation of the guy. He said, "Roland, we really need this. You got to get this done. I mean, it's imperative that we've got this by Friday. It's important. Can you do that?"
Does that sound like him, John?
I never talked to him.
Oh,
No.
I didn't talk to an editor for 2 years, man.
Yeah. We come from the old days when you picked up the phone and talked to your editors.
That's right. Yeah,
I probably talked to Roland for many, many hours.
Hours and hours and hours.
Hey, Roland, do you remember the Ultra Force Avengers crossover? With
Of course I do.
Perez?
Yeah, of course.
Do you remember who worked on that?
The crossover.
A little guy named R.T. Bear.
Yeah. Wild guess.
George Perez.
Perez, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Black and white are in that story. Like my characters, George drew them in this big old double-page spread, and they're right there in the front.
So Art, I think I saw you in San Diego. I think last year when I was out there, I think Mike snapped a picture of us.
Possibly.
I'm going to go. I'm going to go
very
look.
Photogenic.
Yeah, well, what you see is what you get with me. So
was that with Fraga and Miki?
Fraga boom.
You may be right. You may be right.
I look a lot like Danny.
When did I last?
I'm about doing Drawn and Quartered tomorrow.
You gonna have Danny come on?
That'd be great. Not Danny Mickey, Dan Fraga.
Oh, Dan Fraga.
Fraga, the boom.
That'd be fun.
He'll be done before all of us, man. That guy does those 1-minute drawings. It's crazy.
Well, he's not going to win with a 1-minute drawing.
I'll get my extreme jacket out.
I'll get mine out too.
Okay, so we have. I went to Facebook and it says we're friends, but it says we have no post in common. So, oh well.
Until now.
Yeah. So maybe I'm misremembering.
That's okay. You're old.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Every day I just debate deleting my Facebook.
I would, but I have so much stuff on there that I just used it today to go back and reference some old photos I posted a long time ago. So.
Yeah.
I communicate with too many people on Facebook these days. More than email now.
Facebook Messenger.
I guess so. But I'm one of those. What is it? What they say? Like 3% of the people in the U.S. that don't own a cell phone.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
You and Art should talk.
I had one for about 1.5 years, and I said, "This is crap," because I felt like I was on call all the time, and people were calling me, and it was dinging, and I'm just like, I'm done. It's just, I don't want it.
Unless you're a surgeon, or a doctor on call, like, yeah, you don't want that.
Nope. I got rid of it.
That's a good thing too, though, man. It's like now everybody, because the cell phones are so good, people just do a lot more texting in there, like even Facebook and Twitter. I mean, now largely it's just in the phone.
Yeah. But see, I can text you from my computer, and you'll never know the difference.
Except now I know you have no cell phone.
Yes, I have no cell phone.
You've been outed.
You have no cell phone.
Yeah, that's right.
I have one. I just don't use it.
So, Roland.
Yes.
Since you're not privy to the details, but you are privy to know, how excited was everybody? What was the attitude? What did they think was going to happen from your impression of when Image was forming with Malibu?
Oh, I mean, so it was. Oh, there was a lot of excitement. I mean, it was very, very cool. There was never the expectation that Image was going to stay, though. So, it was always, this is just a temporary thing. Now, no one really knew how temporary,
But you guys knew there was going to be a rumble in the industry, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, because see, these guys have been making waves already. There'd been, I mean, the famous the CBG. The Comic Buyer's Guide. It was the Twitter of the day, and so there was all kind of stuff happening, and of course, the comic book industry is very, very small, so word gets around, and that's kind of how it happened, and how, because once Dave Olbrich found out, he immediately picked up the phone and called Rob. Hey man, I hear a bunch of you guys are going to leave. If you need this, and of course they began talking, and then it happened really fast for Image, and then it really happened really fast for Malibu. And man, we had Image books all over the place. We had comics and posters and all kinds of stuff all over the offices. But yeah, so it was pretty exciting. I mean, because these guys were they were making it was a huge deal. I mean, it was. You had Marvel and DC, and this was 7 rock stars basically standing up and saying, "Hey, we're going to punch you in the nose," and they did it.
Yeah.
Do you think the reason that Malibu was chosen is because it was a California-based publishing company, and most of us lived here on the West Coast?
Well, they had worked together. Was it Rob had published some stuff?
Yeah, Rob and Dave. Yeah, it's all about relationships, and I think probably the California connection didn't hurt.
Yeah,
but I think Rob was Rob in L.A. at the time. Anybody know?
He's in Orange County.
So yeah, so I think Rob and Dave. I mean, again, Rob and Dave have a relationship going back to, I don't know how old Dave was, but I think Rob was like 16.
Was Rob going to print the original Youngblood, right? With you guys?
I think that's the case, but I'm not real sure about that.
Because he had that double page.
The ad.
Jerry Ordway ink. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't swear on it, but I think you're right. I think I kind of remember. That's what kind of pissed Marvel off.
Because you guys had X Mutants too, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I did a bunch of covers for you guys, and I did some covers with Jim Valentino as well. So I think I worked for you guys even Image.
Yeah. I know Ron Lim did some of the X Mutant stuff. Trying to think who else. Oh, Del Kean did Dragon Force. Well, that was an Eternity book, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did Dragon Force.
I can't remember if that was a Malibu book or not.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think it was Eternity. So yeah, there was a whole host of.
Was Eternity a Malibu brand?
It was an imprint. Malibu was kind of the umbrella, and then there was Eternity, there was Aircell, there was Adventure,
there was Image.
Yeah. Well, once Image came along, I think some of the other imprints kind of went away. I know Aircell went away pretty quickly after I got there. I can't remember about Adventure. I think Adventure probably went away about the same time. Airsail and Adventure probably went away about the same time. And then the Ultraverse line, I'm sorry, the Protectors line was launched. And then we had Protectors, and then we had the Eternity line. And then a little bit later, we also did the Rocket Comics, which was the music comic books.
That was you guys that you did like the Metallica and and Alice Cooper books and those. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was you guys.
Yep, that was an imprint of Malibu.
Wow, that's why you guys stayed afloat, man. You had a lot of things going on at the same time.
That's exactly it, and that was one of the
because they could publish Protectors and only pay me $40 a page to ink.
Ouch. We all got to start somewhere, Mike.
That's right.
Dude, I was squirting those pages out so fast. Roland's like, stop.
Slow down. You're like, no, I need money.
Yeah, he'd send them in and he'd say, what else you got? What else you got? And so don't let him kid you now. He would always send them in. And whenever he'd sent them in, there was always minimum one, but usually like 2 or 3 extra things he did. Here's something I penciled. Maybe you can use it. Or here's something I penciled and inked. And you can probably go back and look. We've got Mike Miller pinups. So many of those books. And that's just because he kept sending them to us.
Well, you know, that's the Jim Lee way, because I remember on the X-Men, you know, all those ads and all that promotional stuff. Marvel never commissioned him to do that. He just did it and sent it in. And it was so well done, they would be fools not to use it. So I remember like Todd McFarlane talking. He's like, why is Jim Lee this? Why is Jim Lee that? I go, Jim is just doing this stuff. He's just drawing it and he's sending it in, and they can either use it or not use it. And he's like, he's not getting paid. And I go, well, he might be getting paid after the fact, but he didn't get paid to do it, and he wasn't commissioned. He's like, that's cheating.
What was he turning in, Art?
What was he turning in? What do you mean?
Oh, no, what was he turning in? What was he handing in?
Like ads, like just pinups and just like all kinds of stuff, like marketing things, licensing things. He was just drawing X-Men characters. Like we did a whole slew of stuff together. Gosh, there was some library thing, and he got wind that they were some kind of promotional thing with public libraries, and just all that stuff. Like if Jim got wind of any of these, these different ways to promote, he just drew them on spec and would send them in. And then, like I said, they'd be fools not to use it, and they did.
And we always had to keep, in the office, we always had to keep a separate pile, because, we always try to make sure that, okay, this is stuff that we paid for. This is stuff we hadn't paid for. So we had these pages with paper clips. I haven't paid for this. This came in, and we may not ever pay for this because I didn't ask Mike to send me this. So just stick it over there and make a note. We haven't paid for it.
Yeah. And if you use it, then
we paid him for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I think that's a smart move, Mike. That was a smart move.
And that was original art going in, not any kind of.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. In those days, you probably sent original pages. Yeah.
Yeah. And he would just, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but he was sending me pages anyway. So he would just do other stuff and stick the pages in with whatever he was sending me. And so I would get the stuff that he owed me, right? The stuff that he was inking, plus extra stuff.
Right.
Smart.
That's a good hustle.
And then he would call me. He would call me and say, hey, you going to use it? When are you going to use it? You going to use it? You're going to use it next month? When are you going to use it?
To be
Guilt
fair,
trip you.
I was okay, this is young Mike talking, okay? Because I know, looking back at my stuff then, I was not ready for prime time. But Chris, when I first met Chris at WonderCon, he said he was gonna give me penciling work because he liked my pencils. And then I faxed him that piece, and he calls me the next day, or calls me 5 minutes later, and he's like, "Is this how you ink?" So he's like, "We need an inker right now." And I don't know, Roland, if that was like your first book, it was the Ferret.
Yeah, I remember the Ferret.
Yeah, and I had to ink the cover to that, and then Airman.
Is that? Oh yeah.
I had to fix a bunch of stuff.
Oh
in
my
Airman.
gosh, Airman was a disaster.
Yeah, they had me fixing stuff. They had me, but the only thing they had me penciling was the covers for the newsstand editions of Protectors.
Yes.
Which, I mean, if you're coming into a market and you're like, the first thing you're doing is covers,
that's pretty impressive.
It's not all that bad. But I still have them.
Airman was a disaster.
Yeah,
I remember that. That was
air disasters are the worst.
That was my.
No one walks away from an air disaster.
That was my first assignment, and I forget who the penciler was, and I apologize if he's gone on to do great things. But
Tom Duranick did the cover.
Yes, for Airman.
And I inked it.
Yeah, that cover was good. It was the interiors. It was, it was a disaster.
I don't think it was Dean Zachary.
No. It wasn't Dean. But I could put my hands on it fairly quickly. Ugh, but my cable's not long enough. It's right there. That's all my Malibu stuff.
It was pretty disastrous. Do you remember who drew the arrow?
That was because I wrote it. That was Arrow. Lee Motor.
Lee Motor. Yeah, I saw him maybe 5 years ago at San Diego Comic-Con, and I brought that up.
Really?
What about this image?
20 years later, he's like, "What?"
Yeah.
Who did this image right here?
I don't remember. That was the other cover artist.
I can't.
That was the cover artist who did the all the direct market covers.
Because I remember that cover. That's on the Wikipedia, I believe, right now.
That's Claude Hallbaker.
Oh, Samuel Clark Hall. Is it Hallbaker? Samuel Clark. Yeah, he used to draw really good chicks.
Yeah. That's him. That's who that is.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, because I actually liked him when he did what was it, Nomad at was it Nomad?
Marvel.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah. So
it looks like the same style.
Yeah, I knew he did some good boob. Good boob guy.
Did he do? No, he didn't. He didn't do all the covers, right?
No, I don't think so.
Gravestone one. He did.
We had various. We had just a wild assortment of covers. I know that Bingham did a couple of covers for us. Superman guy, artist.
Narrow it down.
I know. 90s Superman artist. Crap. It's been too many years. I think Tom Duranick, though, is the one who did a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
Tom was really rough back in those days. And he's gone on to, do some pretty good things over at Marvel these days. But
I fixed a lot of Tom too.
Yeah, he was very rough around the edges.
Yeah, it's funny because 20 years later, Tom and I were both on Injustice.
Yeah, I know. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. I just saw him in New York.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Does Hallbaker draw anymore?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Popefire says you should promote the fundraiser. There is a fundraiser for people who can't afford Indiegogo books on Blacklist. What is? The official Lone Star Squadron Facebook group, I believe. Right, Popefire? 14 seconds later.
Oh.
So this is it. Roland, welcome to Comicsgate. You're in.
Yeah, I was so disappointed I didn't make any of the lists, and I don't do Twitter that much. I don't do Twitter that much, and I don't. I mean, I log on about once every third day when I haven't been on Twitter. Maybe that's because I don't have a phone. I don't know, but I get on and I check all the stuff on the computer, and I'm like, oh look, I need to go heart this. Holy crap! Mike Miller made all these people mad. What did he do?
He got up in the morning.
Yeah, that's Mike.
Yeah.
You ever talk to Hank anymore?
Yeah, some. I do some. He's staying pretty busy, but yeah, I talk to him some. I probably talk to Hank more than just about any of the Malibu guys.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to see that Hank has the position he has. That guy's a hustler, and he's been through a lot. So
yes,
I'm
yes,
glad
he
this
has.
industry has treated him well. He's one of the good guys.
He is one of the good guys. He sure is.
Yeah, his wife likes almost all my posts on Facebook.
She's a sweetheart too. Yep, she's not only is she a sweetheart, but she is a fantastic artist in her own. She's an awesome colorist.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it true that Hank designed what was it? Was it the Academy Awards logo or something? Like he's a great.
Gosh, that sounds familiar.
He's a great designer, and I think he did the image eye. I think that was his design.
I don't know
logo
that.
Design. Yeah. Go ahead.
I know. I'm gonna drop him an email right now and ask him if that's the case, because I've never heard that. Yeah,
I think he's a really good logo designer.
People in the chat don't know who we're talking about. Hank Canals he wrote the first issue of Youngblood, and has since, being in Malibu and all that stuff, he's been around this entire time in the industry, in the back room.
Well, if you look at,
what is he? Is he editor-in-chief at DC? What is he at DC?
Oh, he's no, he's not the editor-in-chief, but he's a VP of digital. I mean, he's a vice president at DC now, but one of them. But I think it's vice, because it's a really long title. Vice president of of digital content and blah blah blah, something like that.
What I always
thought go ahead.
Was that Hank also wrote. He wrote either The Protectors or...
He wrote X-Mutants.
Was it X-Mutants?
Yep, he wrote X-Mutants.
One of these books with the Arrow in it. I remember because he used the same gag from the Arrow in the first issue of Youngblood with the pen.
Oh, really?
He throws the pen and the guy goes, I didn't know he could use pens or something like that. But it was like a year later.
All right.
Well, so he co-created Youngblood.
Yeah.
Because he was Rob's friend as kids.
Mm-hmm.
And he also, if you look at those old image photographs, like of the Seven, Hank's in all those pictures.
Yes, he is. And they never mention him.
Yeah, he's like Pete Best of the Beatles.
It's so true.
Yeah, he was so there from the beginning, and he did so much. And he's not written in the history books.
It is so true, and yet right there he is. You can watch any of these image documentaries, and they show these old pictures, and there's Hank, but they just never ever mention him by name at all.
Yeah. Bring up a photo, Art.
I'll look. Hank Canals.
Oh wait, no, Mike, you'd have to do it because Art can't bring anything up.
I can't do that.
I'll send you an old image, a link to an old image picture.
Canales.
No,
I think it's
Canalz. It's K-A-N.
Yeah.
A-L-Z.
A-L. Does it have a T in it?
Nope.
Oh no, you're right. It's Canal.
It sounds that way, but no.
Yeah. American comic book writer and editor. He is the senior vice president of Vertigo and publishing at DC Comics, formerly general manager of Wildstorm brand for DC Comics. That's what it says.
All right, Mike, I am sending you via Messenger a link to the old picture that you'll recognize when you see it.
Oh, is he the guy sitting next to Jim Lee?
Yeah.
He's got the perfect comb over, like the perfect parted on the side, like it's his hair.
He looks like he weighs 85 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah, and that's pretty much still him.
Yeah, he's got the perfect hair still to this day.
Yep, and it still looks like he only weighs 85 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny because Hank and I we're pretty good pals back then. And like I said, he's the only one I really stayed in any kind of touch with from Malibu. When I left California, he and Emily got married because Emily was one of the Malibu colorists, and so they met at Malibu. There was a secret office romance, and then when I left, they got married. I actually flew back to California to be one of Hank's groomsmen.
Wait a minute, I was there too. Maybe that's where I met you the first time.
It's probably, I don't know. I
you know John Peterson?
Got it.
That's it. Yeah. Do I know John Peterson?
Yeah, because he was there too. Like he's part of that whole Hank connection.
There we go. John
Right.
has it.
Hello, hello.
That's it.
Yeah,
Look at the
it.
hair.
Yeah.
Look at the hair.
The only one who didn't have any was Eric, even then.
Who's that?
Not in that group there.
No. Nah, that first picture is.
Yeah, the
Okay.
first picture is the one that they always show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was the one that got the big press release and everything, probably written up in Wizard. And
Cripes, how tall is Silvestri?
He's tall.
huge.
He's like 6'8", I think.
Jeez.
Yeah, but the other thing you got to remember is McFarlane's not tall at all. McFarlane's a short guy. I remember meeting him and going into myself. I didn't tell him this, but to myself, going, "Dang, you're short."
Well, Jim is definitely a shorter dude there. So
Yes.
Is Todd? You think
Jim
Todd
is
might be
sitting
squatting
down,
a bit?
John.
No,
Jim is
Jim's
sitting
actually
down.
standing up in that picture.
You think Todd might be squatting a little bit?
On Jim?
I don't know because I'm 6'1". I know I'm taller than Jim Valentino, but when I met or walked by Mark Silvestri, yeah, he's a big dude, man.
He's either 6'6" or 6'8", because I'm 6'3". So and I remember meeting Silvestri in about '87 and looking up to him and going, "Dang, you could be a tight end for the Saints."
Yeah, he's almost 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he's real tall. I don't 6'6", 6'8", something like that.
Like to see him and Dirty Doug get into it.
Dirty Doug.
Dirty Doug to Naples. All right.
Dig Doug.
Diggy
Poor
Diggy
Doug.
Doug.
That reputation of dirty hands is gonna follow him around for a long time. Because people are getting grossed out just looking at his hands when you put 2 eyeballs on it, and like the wrinkles and the sweat and whatever else in there was enough to make at least make Ethan gag on camera.
Yeah,
he almost puked.
Yeah, just because everyone's thinking about how dirty his hands might be, not because they're actually dirty.
Whose hands are these?
Doug Knapple.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he has less than stellar hygiene by normal standards.
So you're saying that he doesn't wash his hands after a restroom trip?
He has less than stellar hygiene by prison standards.
Oh man.
Yeah, he doesn't wash his hands in public. He'll wash them at home, but he says where the bathrooms are too dirty, and his hands are cleaner than the bathrooms. And he doesn't brush his teeth, but like once every week.
What?
Yeah, this is all out of Doug's mouth. No one's making this up.
Yeah.
Accusing him or anything. This is what he's
This
out.
is not gossip.
Yeah, he's out and proud.
Gossip.
And he wipes until he sees red. That's a quote.
Oh no.
It is a quote. This is all on video on YouTube for permanent.
And the funny thing is, Art was just getting static tonight because he always goes back to poop one way or another, and there he goes back to poop.
It's my thing.
Yeah.
Have to have our thing.
That shouldn't be a thing at all.
Well, just to be honest, I was just quoting another person's thing.
That's true.
With relish.
With relish. With red relish.
Uh,
What were they calling his
rolling,
book? Red and
rolling.
Yes.
brown?
What are you doing now? I know you just did a cat and mouse Kickstarter. How did it go?
It went pretty well. We made, of course, we didn't do anything like what you guys have done, but we made in the first 2 days. So I was very excited about that. We shipped everything out on time, everything fulfilled. I had to chase down about 7 people for addresses. And after, I guess, about 45 days, I finally got responses from them. And so we are 100% fulfilled. Everything's out. And so now we're just kind of hitting the sort of the minor convention circuit, promoting the first issue while we work on the second issue, and we'll go back for to kickstart the second issue as well. So hopefully end of the year for that.
Why don't you Indiegogo the second one?
You know, I've been watching you guys, and I'm leaning strongly Indiegogo. So tell me some of the benefits of Indiegogo, because I've been trying to look, and you know, the reason I keep thinking Kickstarter is that it's, you know, it has such a big, it's already got a big comic section, I guess is the lack of a better word. But I like what I see you guys doing on Indiegogo. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Tell me why do you like it?
I've never done Kickstarter, so I don't have anything to compare it to, but Art has.
Yeah, I like it because I like the credit card aspect where they take the credit card information and everything right up front. So when somebody makes the purchase, that credit card information goes through, and like at the end of Kickstarter, they have to do all that. They have to go after the money. They have to do, you know, they have to fundraise and all that other nonsense.
I had to chase some credit cards down at the end of the Kickstarter.
Yeah, so there's less of that nonsense. I haven't fulfilled mine or got to the end of my campaign yet, but it looks like it's probably, and also, you know, Roland, that there's a lot of people that don't fulfill their credit card obligations at the end.
Yes.
So I'm hoping there's going to be less of that. Mike and well, Mike, you got your payouts already on.
Yeah, no, people have to legit back out in order to unfund you. So
yeah,
there's
so
no chasing. It's like,
right.
I mean, like that guy who just backed out of $100 of John's campaign and then sent it to me in a super chat. Actually, I just wanted to bring that up.
to hurt John.
That was happening while I was trying to get connected, and I wanted to hear the guy's story, but I didn't hear exactly what John did to make him so mad.
No,
I don't know either. I don't know.
No one knows. It's a mystery.
No, he said it wasn't me. It was
oh, your partner.
He's having a grievance with Ethan, I guess, and because we affiliate with Ethan, that he withdrew the money. His prerogative, more power to him. I think he probably withdrew that before the campaign ended, because I think once the campaign's over, I think it's all on lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I like.
Yeah, at that point, if somebody wants a refund, they have to ask you to refund it directly.
And also, Roland, it's been a year since I kickstarted, but also the paperwork is easier, like the way Indiegogo logs everything.
Right.
It's more like if you print it out or look at it, it's all there at a glance. Like Kickstarter is really kind of cryptic the way the information is. It's not all in one kind of area.
Right.
And so they also give a number to the pledger. So there's a name, there's a number, there's an address, and there is the complete order right there all in one. And if I remember Kickstarter, at least when I did it a year ago, it wasn't all, you know, wrapped up in one area. Because sometimes it would just be the dollar amount, right? It wouldn't even say the tier. It would just be the dollar amount. And then you have to figure out, you have to figure out too, because the dollar amount is with the shipping. So then you have to kind of decipher like, oh, did this go to Europe? Is it the book?
Right.
You know, is it the book that went to Europe, or is it a book that went domestically? So you have to figure out, because it doesn't really, well, go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can sort it based on the tier. But the problem that you run into, and we didn't do much of this for this very reason, is that if you have add-ons, like, oh, look, you can do this, but hey, if you want a sticker, you can add $2. So that shifts all of the figures, so that you're looking at this tier and you might say, oh, there's $20 and their shipping was 24. There's 24, 24, 24, 24. What's this? Why there's this one 28? You know?
Yeah.
And so but yeah, you can break it down into tiers.
Well, there's no
really
add-on.
hard. Yeah.
There's no add-ons on
No,
Indiegogo.
there's not. On Indiegogo?
Yeah.
Well, there's no real add-ons on Kickstarter either, which is I think a problem.
Oh, well, I thought you were just talking about add-ons.
Well,
No,
yeah,
you just urge them to pledge, like if it's like $4 for this print or $10 for the print, then you just say add $10
right,
to the
and
order.
they have to add the money themselves to the pledge.
Oh
But
yeah,
then
yeah.
when
You
you
can't
see
do
it
that
itemized.
here until the pledge is over. If they want to upgrade to a different higher pledge with more stuff, they have to back out of the first one, or they don't have to, but they have to buy one and then back out. They can back out until the
Right.
campaign.
Yeah, Kickstarter's the same.
Yeah. So I know in Kickstarter they don't take any of that credit card information up front, and what they do when the campaign ends, then they go and charge everybody. Well, the
Yeah.
problem is like what we ran into is that we had probably a dozen, and they send you as the Kickstarter owner, they send you a message. Now you don't know why the credit cards don't pass. All you know is that, hey, this credit card processing didn't pass. And so when I got that, I just sent them all emails. I said, hey, Kickstarter says your credit card didn't pass. You might want to go check it out. And as a result of that, I got about half of those back. They went, oh no, I got a new credit card, it expired or something like that. And they went and fixed it, and then I got about half of those back. And so for the others, then I lost about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, something like that.
Kickstarter's supposed to do that for you as well, right? Is it Amazon?
Yes.
Who's their partner? Is it Amazon?
I don't. Yeah, I think it is Amazon. But yeah, they do. Kickstarter does send out a message. But I've always been a hands-on kind of guy, and I always feel that, hey, if this doesn't work, I'm just going to reach out to you and say, hey, this is what Kickstarter said. You probably already got the message, but I thought I would reach out to you. It's just kind of a personal touch.
Yeah, we did the same because
Yeah.
I think that Amazon only sends them one message.
One message, yeah.
Yeah, they said they're not going to go after like multiple times. So, but they don't even encourage you to do it. But I did the same thing, Roland, where you have to send private messages to them and try to appeal to like that. Maybe they just made a mistake or forgot about it or something like that.
Yep.
And like you said, most of the time, that's what happens. They're not doing it because they hate you or anything.
No,
they're just doing it because they forgot or that the credit card was canceled or some kind of mishap. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and then the other thing we had to do, I know, to chase down at the end after all that, is that you have to make, because Kickstarter doesn't ask for it up front, and there's no kind of record of it. They have to fill out the surveys for an address. And so this is why I said kind of when I first came on is I had to chase people down just to get addresses. I literally had like 4, you can't see them here, but I like 4 packages behind me for about 2 months because I couldn't get an address. And I would email them and say, look, I've got your packet, your books, your stuff. It's in a package, has your name on it. I just need an address. And, for one reason or another, they just, they didn't answer me. I finally got them all done. Come to find out, here's what's funny. Come to find out, one of them was the mother of my colorist.
That's funny.
It's like when I found out who she was, I said, dude, your mom I've been sitting on your mom's package, and I just, all I needed was an address. His response to me was a LOL. That's funny. That's my mom.
No address.
Yep.
There
yes.
you go.
Yeah. So I am leaning Indiegogo.
Well, you'll
this whole Chuck Dixon thing has me a little worried,
Yeah, well, you'll have to forgive me for not getting your cat and mouse cover done.
Oh, I'm still gonna hound you.
Yeah, for another one.
Yep. Because it's gonna be a 4-issue miniseries, so
right.
So I would love to see Lone Star and Cat and Mouse.
Yeah, and we'll promote it on here too.
Yep. Yeah, so you could draw it on. You could stream it while you're drawing, and
it's true. I can.
You be one of my reward levels.
So what were you asking?
I would just add pros and cons
So.
Oh no, yeah. Oh, about Chuck Dixon, how they just canceled. I was at a show with Chuck last weekend, and we had a long talk about it, and you know they just pulled his. I can't remember the name of it. Alt Q maybe, but they just pulled that with no real reason.
Well, the couple of reasons that I've heard. One was that they were using a Batman image to try to promote a cover, which would have been a copyright strike. And they weren't very specific that it wasn't the cover you were going to get.
Right.
So, and the other one was that Amazon or whoever, I don't know, qualifies QAnon as like a hate group or something. And so
it's probably not Amazon. It's probably that stupid SPLC.
Oh, those freaking idiots!
I cannot stand those guys. They have so many. Don't give me that was my set off. You know, these guys, they won't put Antifa on there, and yet they've got AFR, American Family Radio, listed as a hate group.
They're just anti-Christians. That's all SPLC is.
And the thing about it is, I've been following this Morris D's for almost since the time I was at Malibu. I've been following this Morris D's guy for almost 30 years now. Dude has made a fortune at the SPLC peddling hate. He is a multi-millionaire, and he made his money at the SPLC. Tell me that's not wrong.
No, they're a hate group.
Sorry, I cannot stand that guy.
No, pisses me off. Morris D's and the Time, as Doc says. No.
Yeah. No. That was the name of the band, wasn't it? Morris D. Morris Day. Yeah, Morris Day. Yeah, Morris Day. Yeah. Not the music I listen to, but yeah, it's Morris D's.
D's nuts.
D's nuts.
What's your favorite band, Roland?
Oh, I'm a Led Zeppelin guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a classic rock guy. 1970. If it was made in the 1970s and plugged into the wall, I probably liked it.
Well, Roland, how do you feel about Jimi Hendrix?
I like Jimi Hendrix. Why?
Because John here is a hater.
You hate Jimi Hendrix?
I don't hate him. I just recognize his weaknesses.
He just needs to tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's my favorite quote.
He plays
from
it loose and sloppy, and he uses that distortion pedal to cover his weaknesses. You put him on an acoustic, it'd be embarrassing.
Oh my gosh! I swear, John, that's my favorite quote of yours. It's just, you just gotta tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah, he's got to tighten it up a little bit.
Just gotta tighten it up. That's all.
I saw a lot of concerts in the 70s and 80s, back when you could actually afford to go see them.
Like $8 a ticket, $12 a ticket. Right?
I paid my very first concert was a '78 Aerosmith bootleg tour, and I paid $6 to get in.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, let me show you guys what I'm doing. I'm gonna wrap this stream up in a second here, but here's the
Mike doesn't like bands
that I was working on. I love.
Well, it is the John show too, so John should have a say in this.
Yeah, I'm ready to roll on bands for another 30 minutes.
Yeah, well, you can go do that on your stream. So this is the piece that I will be giving away on Friday's show. So if everyone wants to show up on Friday, not for the Night's Watch. I'm not sure what channel we're going to do the Night's Watch on this week. Hopefully, it's going to be one of the bigger channels so we can get some more people in here. But that's what. Somebody's going to win. We'll find out.
Nice.
We shall find out who on Friday.
Art and myself will be talking plenty of music on his channel, Kiss Corner. I think it's tomorrow at 1 p.m.
Yeah, in the morning. That's your time, right? That's Eastern.
Oh, yeah, Eastern. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's 10. It's 10.
These two are easily confused about time.
I was going to say, wait a minute, what?
The later we get, the dumber we get on time.
1 p.m. in the morning, everyone. 1 p.m. in the morning.
No.
1 p.m.
10 in the morning.
Eastern.
1 in the afternoon Eastern. Yes. Gosh, Mike.
John, we have 83 mutual friends, so.
Oh, sweet.
I'm not really sure who they are, but
I'm barely on there.
I see Mike and John Medic, John Crowther. All right. So a bunch of names I recognize right there. So,
well, Sketch Therapy says that when John and I talk about music, it's freaking epic. So there you go.
listen, I played drums for a lot of years, and I wanted to be, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a rock star, and played all throughout high school. Was in a rock band in high school. Ruled my local high school. And then when I had to go to college, I was like, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. So I took computer science for 2 years, decided it was way too much math for me, and sneakily changed my degree to creative writing without telling my dad. And yep. And so as I got close to graduation and got ready to finish, and somehow he already knew. I don't know how he found out, but somehow he already knew. His one question, I was like, well, when we first talked about it, he goes, I asked you then, how are you going to feed your family? How are you going to, make a living? And I said, Dad, I have no idea. No one can tell me how to do comic book. I'm from Mississippi. No one can tell me how to do comic books. No one can tell me how to break in the industry. No one knows how to make money writing. I have no idea, but I know that it's what I want to do. So that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah. I was very fortunate in that a year after graduation, I sold my first comic series. So
very nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
and Roland is well, so far he's been editing Lone Star.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Official capacity?
Well, he edited the initial plot. You want me to send you the script before I send it out?
You are welcome to do so. I told you. I'm happy to do it.
You gonna give him a credit in the book there, Mike?
Yep.
Nice.
Very cool.
Slip him a little cheddar.
San Diego Comic-Con. I used to do that. I used to put my friends' names in the credits of my books just so they could get free passes in San Diego.
That's funny. I never even thought about that. That's a good idea. So they can send it into the committee, right?
That's
Look,
right.
I did this.
That is correct. That's right.
Oh, if I could take a second, there's 184 people watching. We only have 69 likes. If everyone can hurry up and hit that like button, it helps Mike's channel grow. It would be very appreciated.
Just did.
Yes. And let me pitch real quick my book, LONESTARcomic.com, for, I'm sure, most of the people in here, but some of you might be new coming over from Green Hands today. If you are, then thank you and welcome. If you're not, you've probably already bought my book. So LONESTARcomic.com, it's there. Check it out. If you like it, pick it up. Roland, do you have any social media? You don't even have social media you want to pitch, do you?
Of course I do. I'm all over Facebook. I've got a website, rolandman.me, www.rolandman.me. Of course, you can find me if you go on Facebook. I'm at Rolandman Writer, I think. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to find and I do have Twitter. I think on Twitter I'm Man Roland. I'm just not real active there. So I could, actually I could use a whole lot more followers if people follow me. I tend to follow back unless I see people like being real stupid and stuff. Yeah. So.
All right. Cool.
Thanks for inviting me on, man. It was fun.
Absolutely, buddy. Anytime. John.
Yeah, you can find me at John Malin on Twitter. My YouTube is also John Malin. And if anyone is interested, I do have my Graveyard Shift Indiegogo. It's raised over 100,000. If anyone hasn't backed, please do, and thank you.
Yeah, over 100,000. Art.
Okay, Black and White Remastered. We're 6 days from our initial funding time. We're at 25,360. We have 480 backers. And if we can get 30K by the end of this week, by this Friday, some lucky Black and White fan will win a Greg Capullo original piece of artwork. So there you go.
Yes, and once again, I am giving away that Lone Star print, not print, the original. The original this Friday, so please do come by. And Samurai Sid says, send me my prints, Mike. Samurai, email me. I might have to get you, if you want those prints, there's one you may have to like either cancel or order a different print, because there's one of them that I'm out of, and it's just I'm not going to drive all the way to my printer for one print. So email me, man. Let's work that out. So thanks everybody for being here. I am Abacus Mike on Twitter, Mike S. Miller Art on the Facebook, and please do subscribe to the mailing list in case something ever happens to this wonderful channel. I'll be able to contact you and let you know where I am going to pop up. So thanks everyone for being here. This has been the Aloha Hour. Love each other. Be good. Be the best person you can be. And God bless.
Thanks, Mike.
Good night.
Everyone.